dryer here that's squeaking. And I think it's caused by one of three things. On the tumbler, there's two wheels on the back that act as a guide. And it could be one of those two wheels. There's also a belt tensioner underneath that has a wheel on it, and that could be the cause. The first thing I want to do is listen around here and see if it's coming from down low, up high, the left side, the right side. The other thing is, it seems to be worse the longer it runs and the heavier the load in there. Okay, we'll check the back left side. And it seems to me that it's coming from the right side. Now there's a vent right down here. And maybe that's why it sounds like the noise is coming from over here because of the vent there. Let's open it up, take a look, and see what we can find. Now this particular dryer is a Maytag Neptune. And I'm going to take the front panel off. Just Phillips screws. And then you just lift up and pull out. You can see there's a little groove on these hinges that locks it in place. And there's two of the same screws with blank plates on this side. You can reverse this door. And we can pull this out. And there's little tongues, one on each side, and you just lift this up, and the front panel comes off. Now I'm going to take a look underneath. With the front panel off, let's go ahead and go inside and take a look. There's one of our drum tumbler wheels. You can see the belt right here. It's a little slick, but it's in good shape. It's not frayed. There's our belt tensioner wheel, which could be the second reason. And then if we go a little further back in here, there's our other tumbler wheel for the drum right there. I think it's got to be one of those three, and I have an idea on how to check that out. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit here, and I'm not recommending you do this, but what I'm going to try to do is put that door back on with the front panel off, turn it on, go underneath, and listen and see if I can identify which one it is. Now the longer way around this and checking this out would be to take this apart, pull the drum out, and check each wheel independently. If you take it apart and spin them, you'll probably feel one that's restricted or not spinning freely, and that'd be the one to change. What I'm going to try to do is check it out just the way it sits here, see if I can identify which one it is, and then clean it and lubricate it right where it sits. Oh yeah! Let's go back underneath, see if we can figure it out. Okay, put it on air fluff. And you can see our heating coils are off now. I think it's one of those two rascals. Or maybe both of them. I think that higher pitch squeak is that wheel there. And the lower constant pitch squeak is that tensioner wheel. I'm going to try to hit this wheel up here. Oh! How about that? Now I got some on the wheel, so it's not It's not grabbing. I'll have to clean that. But I think that's our culprit right there. That was just a test. I'm going to go ahead, turn the dryer off, unplug it, clean that, lubricate it, and see if we're good to go. And maybe that's all that needed. They get lint and dirt buildup in there, and that creates friction and resistance, and those wheels will start squeaking sometimes because of that. So let's go ahead, turn the dryer off, unplug it, clean it, lubricate it, see if that takes care of it. Okay, with the dryer off and unplugged, you got to be careful. Make sure you unplug it because you're working with 220 here. Now I'm going to have to put my hand in there, but I've got WD-40 and I'm using that as a cleaner first. But it also will be a little slick on that wheel. So then I'm going to take some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel and wipe the outside of the wheel off. But I want to get at that hub right there that I'm pointing to. That's where the squeak's coming from, that hub right there. So I'll go ahead and spray that. You can see the dirt coming off there. And if I really wanted to clean the wheel, I would take it off. And to take it off, there's a clip right here, a C-clip, and then this washer, and then the wheel slides right off, but you got to move the tumbler out of the way to get that wheel to pull out. So I've got that sprayed off. I'm going to take a paper towel, wipe it down, because I don't want the outside of the wheel. I'm just trying to get this area right here, right in the middle. All right. Now for lubricant, I'm going to use something called PB Blaster. That's a lubricant. I would recommend using silicone lubricant because it does not attract dirt and it lubricates. So I'd recommend you use silicone lubricant. Comes in a spray can. I use the WD-40 for the cleaning, and this is for the lubricating. I'm just going to let that soak in a little bit. Now if my squeak comes back, I'm going to go ahead and pull this wheel off and clean it real good. That right in the middle, what you see is a shaft that the wheel rotates on. So you just pull that off, take some steel wool, clean that shaft, and then clean the inside of the wheel and lubricate it with silicone, and you'd be good to go. Otherwise, if it's worn out, you can just replace it. And I think original equipment, they're like $35 if you want to get a Maytag wheel. I think you can get a pair of wheels for about $22 if you want to get a generic one. All right, I'll take my rag and wipe it down. And all I really wanted was to get some lubricant and the WD-40 right behind this washer and want it to soak in on that shaft. That's good. Now what I'm going to take is some rubbing alcohol on a paper towel and I'm going to wipe the outside of this wheel right here so it's not slipping. I don't want it slipping between the drum and the wheel. This is all wet with rubbing alcohol. And I'm just going to wipe this down on the outside of the wheel. And that'll take all that slimy lubricant off of there. But we still got the center lubricated good. And I'll just wipe this down where it dripped a little bit. Good. Now we can plug it back in. Turn it on and see how it sounds. Woo, woo, woo. She's quiet and she's spinning. That alcohol did the job. Now I don't know how long that's going to last, but at least we've identified where the squeaks come from and how to fix it. I can always replace that wheel with a new one if I need to. But it looks like it's in good shape. There's no flat spots on the wheel. It's not all reamed out in the center. It's spinning nice. So it just might have been a little dirt in there that needed cleaning. Well, I think we've got that squeak taken care of. Now let's go ahead, put the dryer back together, and we'll stay in touch with the homeowner. Now on this front panel, you see that little slot there? There's a tongue that sticks out right here and right over here. You have to slide that tongue in that groove. First, you put the bottom in. Those little tongues sticking up there go in those slots. Just like that. Pull it up. I got that side in. And I got that side in. And you want to be careful, this metal's sharp. And we'll slide our door back on. There we go. And just push down on it, that locks it in place. Put the screws back in. And the bottom one. And the other two screws. Put the blank clips. Good. Okay, we're all put back together. Give her a try. Wee doggy. Quiet. Nice. Just like a dryer should be. If this video was a help to you, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And I look forward to helping you with other projects online.